but not Clara. She let the snow pile up, creating a thick, white blanket on her roof. Her neighbors, peering from behind their curtains, were baffled. They started to whisper, "Is she lazy?" one would ask. "Maybe she's out of town," another would suggest. But as the days turned into weeks, and the snow on Clara's roof remained, the whispers turned into open mockery. At the local grocery store, they'd snicker, "There's the Snow Queen. Her house must be caving in by now." They imagined her roof groaning under the weight, her ceilings leaking, and her home turning into a damp, cold mess. Little did they know, Clara had a secret, a brilliant plan, rooted in ancient wisdom, that would soon leave them all speechless. Clara wasn't lazy, and she certainly wasn't crazy. She was an architect who specialized in sustainable and eco-friendly design. Before the winter set in, she had spent months reinforcing her roof structure, ensuring it could handle a heavy load. She didn't need to explain herself. The results would soon do all the talking. Her bill was a fraction of what everyone else was paying. The neighbors who had mocked her for weeks looked at each other, their faces a mixture of disbelief and embarrassment. The Snow Queen wasn't foolish, she was a genius. Suddenly, they weren't seeing a lazy homeowner with a neglected roof. They were seeing a pioneer, someone who had outsmarted winter itself. The atmosphere in the room completely shifted. The mockery was replaced with a flood of questions. Roof after roof was covered in a thick, pristine blanket of white. Following Clara's advice and guidance, many of her neighbors had consulted with structural engineers to ensure their roofs were safe, and then they eagerly adopted her method. The igloo house was no longer a solo act, it was the trendsetter. The neighborhood chat group was now filled with pictures of snow-covered roofs and discussions about how warm their houses felt. The sense of community had never been stronger. They had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the most effective solutions are the simplest ones, and it's wise not to judge a book or a house by its cover. Clara was no longer the neighborhood eccentric. She was their respected advisor, the woman who taught them how to work with nature instead of against it. This story is a wonderful reminder that innovation can come from looking at things differently. Clara's neighbors thought they knew best, sticking to what they'd always done.